I wake up, but I can't move. The room is dark except for the pale glow of the street lamp outside, leaking through my blinds in thin, fractured beams. Shadows stretch unnaturally long across my walls, warping and shifting as though alive. A weight presses down on my chest, crushing, suffocating, a presence I can't see but can feel, heavy and oppressive like a damp, clinging fog. My body is frozen, paralyzed under some unseen force, every limb leaden and useless. My mind, however, is electric with panic, a trapped animal clawing at the walls of its cage. I try to move, try to scream, but nothing happens. I am a prisoner in my own flesh, left vulnerable to whatever lurks in the darkness. I've been here before. Sleep paralysis. That space between waking and dreaming, where my brain flickers to life but my body refuses to follow. I know it's temporary, that if I wait, I'll regain control. But something is different this time. A sound. Slow, deliberate breathing. It's not mine. My eyes dart frantically around the room, searching, pleading for this to be my imagination. Then I see it. In the corner, by my closet, something stands. At first, it's just a deeper patch of darkness, but then it moves, shifting like liquid shadow. A shape peels itself from the void, tall and spindly, its limbs grotesquely elongated, bending at unnatural angles, its fingers impossibly thin and ending in curved, blackened nails that glint in the dim light. Its head tilts unnaturally, as if studying me, its breath rattling in its throat like dead leaves scraping pavement, each exhale a slow, deliberate exorcism of decay. Then it takes a step forward, a movement so smooth it seems to glide rather than walk. Another step, slow and predatory. My eyes strain against the darkness, desperate to make out more details I wish I couldn't see. The skin on its arms appears stretched too tight over jutting bone, crisscrossed with veins that pulse as if carrying something thick, black, and alive. It pauses, looming just beyond the foot of my bed, head still cocked, body quivering as though suppressing some terrible excitement. The air around me thickens, oppressive, pressing down on my chest with an unseen force. I can hear its breaths deepening, taking me in, savoring the moment. Then, without warning, it jerks forward a fraction, a grotesque twitching lunge, testing the boundaries between us. My heart slams against my ribs, a desperate prisoner pounding to be let out. The creature stops, lips parting to reveal teeth like fractured glass, jagged and uneven. It exhales and the scent of rot floods my nostrils. I want to scream, but all I can do is watch as the thing leans in closer, its hollow, ink-black eyes drinking me in. I want to scream, but my throat is locked tight, as if invisible fingers have wrapped around it, squeezing, silencing me. My fingers twitch at my sides, useless, the barest hint of movement proving I am still real, still here, but helpless. The thing takes a step closer, each motion fluid and unnatural, its limbs bending in ways that make my stomach twist. The boards beneath it don't creak, don't groan, as if it carries no weight at all, a phantom that only pretends to be flesh and bone, something that exists just outside the rules of my reality. Another step, and the air in the room grows colder. I swear I hear something, a whisper beneath the steady rattle of its breath, words just out of reach, slithering into my ears like a dying breeze. My body is ice, my skin tingling as if I'm standing at the edge of a great abyss, waiting to fall. The creature pauses, its head tilting, sensing something. Anticipation? Amusement? My pulse hammers, my ribs aching from the sheer force of my fear. I want to move. I need to move. But I can only watch as it takes another slow, deliberate step forward. Another step. Its eyes, if they can even be called that, gleam like wet ink, swirling with something ancient, something hungry. They do not blink, do not waver, as if they are drinking in my fear, savoring it. I force my breath to slow, to steady, though my heart hammers like a trapped bird in my chest, desperate to flee. The creature leans down, its face inches from mine, the space between us charged with an unbearable tension. The air turns thick, heavy, reeking of decay, like the damp rot of a grave unearthed too soon. The stench crawls down my throat, makes my stomach lurch, but I cannot move, cannot recoil. Its lips part slightly, revealing the suggestion of jagged, splintered teeth, like shards of obsidian ready to tear into flesh. A sickly, wet sound escapes its mouth, a gurgling, slithering noise that reminds me of something drowning, something suffocating. I want to close my eyes, but I can't. I am forced to stare, to witness, to feel every ounce of its terrible presence pressing into me, smothering the air in my lungs. Then, it speaks. "You've seen me before." The voice is a whisper and a growl, sliding into my ears like oil, dripping with knowing. It coils through my thoughts, its presence pressing into the folds of my mind, unearthing memories long buried beneath the fragile veneer of adulthood. And suddenly, I do remember. The childhood nights, the creeping sense of something just beyond sight, the quiet rustling that never belonged to the wind, the figures lurking just outside my vision, shapes that melted into darkness the moment I turned my head, the shadow in the corner of my room that was always watching, always waiting, its patience endless. It was never a dream, never a trick of the eye. It had been there, slinking through my life like a parasite, feeding off the fear I had dismissed as childish imaginings. A sudden sharp ache spreads through my skull as fragments of half-forgotten moments come flooding back, nights of holding my breath beneath the covers, of feeling an unseen gaze pressing against my skin, of whispers slithering through the silence when I was certain I was alone. I was never alone, and I am not alone now. The thing presses closer, its lips curling in something that might be a smile. I never left. My vision blurs at the edges. My limbs tingle as feeling starts to return. But the demon's grin widens. It knows. It's been waiting for this moment when I am weakest, when I am nothing but flesh trapped between sleep and waking, between life and something else. My fingers twitch. My lips part. A sound escapes me. A wheeze, a breath, a prayer. The demon leans forward, its face so close I can see the jagged cracks in its skin, the yawning abyss of its mouth. Then I snap awake. I lurch upright, gasping. The room is empty. The closet door is closed. The night is silent. But my body still hums with its presence, a lingering sensation that refuses to fade. My skin prickles with the memory of its breath, the whisper of its voice sliding through my mind like a venomous echo. My muscles are free now, but they feel slow, weighed down by something unseen. I rub at my arms, trying to shake the chill that has settled into my bones, but it's no use. In the dim light of the street lamp, I swear I see the shadow in the corner shudder, just once. A flicker of something more than mere darkness. My breath catches, my pulse hammering in my throat. It stays still, unmoving. Yet the weight of its gaze lingers, pressing against my chest like a hand just out of sight. I tell myself it's over, that I'm awake, that I'm safe. But deep down, in some primal part of me that understands fear more than logic, I know better. It is still here, watching, waiting, waiting. Subscribe for Part 2.